Welcome to the poker coaching study session, everybody. Today we're going to look at some of Bob's hands. All right, ace-6 suited in the small blind. What happens? Does it fold to us?
Um,
Let's see. Fold, raise.
um,
Uh, this is a good fold, but if we want to be extra aggressive, it is a 3-bet. Against the 3.5, I think I might let it go. But if we're doing the 3-bet experiment, let's 3-bet him up to 15.
okay, I wasn't that aggressive because the sizing is big.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Also, it's
Um,
important to keep in mind that you're playing against a 50 big blind stack here.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's also true. That's a good reason not to do. That's a good reason to let this one go. Your 3-bet size is small because you're out of position here. You're undersized. You should be 14 or 15 against the 3.5. And if your hand can't support a raise to 14 or 15, probably fold it. All right, but you 3-bet it to this size. Let's see what happens. He 4-bets you. It's time to fold.
All right.
You're on the odds against this guy.
That's why I mentioned it before the session. Actually, against this player, it was a really bad idea to try this stuff
Yeah.
because he has hands like Queen 8 offsuit here. So I could have jammed
Okay.
here and probably won. You never know. But I just learned that after
Right.
two hands. So that is
You know what would
another
be a better
hand.
hand than so the issue you got there, you got a guy with a bucket stack. And he's risking half a stack. So he usually we'll see people like that are more incentivized to gamble. That may be while they're playing a broken stack. And
Yeah.
so and also your hand can't make a straight. That's why the ace five suited is sometimes called the magic solver hand.
Mhm.
And that would probably be a better option here to 3-bet or to shove.
Yeah.
I would 3-bet here with ace five suited to about their size, and
And
then I
given
would
your
fold.
yeah, and given the background that you said about him, that he could be doing this with Queen 8 suited, I would say we're only going to 3-bet him with the hands that we're willing to go with.
Yep.
And since the ace-6 suited you weren't, let's not 3-bet him. And I think the same thing is going to be true with this King 4, especially. But wait a minute, this isn't my hand. I'll shut up.
I'll take this one. So you've got a limper, and then you've got an ISO to the limp by the broken stack. So this is the same
Right.
guy, right?
That's the same guy.
So at this point in the game, what do we know about him?
At this point, we just know that he 4-bet one time over my 3-bet.
Okay,
And he seems to be kind of aggressive. He's attacking. He's raising all the time.
okay. So I don't think I would choose this hand for a 4-bet bluff
It's a
or a
3-bet,
cold
actually,
three or whatever
right?
you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I would choose a hand that might have more playability pros. Um, Ones that can make straights and flushes, not just straight and not just flushes. We like having the king. It blocks his strong hands, but if I had ace five suited here, I would probably take it, and I would probably actually at that point I would go to 14 because we have two players.
Mhm. So actually, I would most of the time just fold here. I wouldn't even play that hand, but I just did it because, as I mentioned, I wanted to play 3-bet pots. I wanted to force them and just see what happens. Yep. So
Yeah.
I
So
raised.
I like your size, and I can, and kudos to you for experimenting. That's part of the fun. So
Wow.
yeah, this is going to happen a lot with limpers. They just want to see flops.
Okay. And now,
So, and then yeah, we got to fold.
okay. And that's a hand where seeing what hand he had, player 3 had. Player 3 was also super loose. And yeah. And then they both were gone. So I couldn't take advantage of that. But after that, I would have learned, don't do the experiment with these two guys because, I mean, we can look at the showdown.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys are just fooling around. So, I mean, obviously now you're on party poker. You can make a note for a player, can't you?
Yes, I have notes on on both
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
just make
No.
notes.
And this is not what you typically see in my pool. So I was actually very surprised to see this.
Yeah, this is a little wild. So let's see
That's
your
super wild, very wild. Maybe two friends talking over Discord or what do I know, and they were just funning around with each other, right? I don't know
yeah.
what's going on here,
I
but
mean,
it's
that could
crazy.
always be happening. I mean, collusion is always
I mean,
a problem.
even
But
if it's collusion when they do this, I don't care if Ace King here or something.
all right.
Uh,
So what's our next hand? I'll take a look at our next hand.
yeah, here we have actually a hand.
So we got an oversized raise, which is always interesting. Generally, I think at these states, RFI size is going to be an indicator of hand strength, right?
Yes.
So he may have a very polar range here and have stuff like King 3 suited where he just wants to win it pre. But generally, I think um, we're going to see hands here that where the raise first in size is going to be an indicator of hand strength. So I would not take this spot.
Okay. I have a question here because I think his range is super polar, right?
Well,
It
like I
should be.
said, it depends. Obviously, it depends on the player, but generally, at lower stakes, the RFI side will be an indicator of hand strength, right? So this is probably a better hand, probably in the top of his range.
Okay.
Probably not aces and kings, but ace
It
queen
could be,
suited,
I mean, it could be aces.
jacks, tens would be my guess. Ace king off, yeah. So I would skip this spot. But if
Yeah.
I was
We
gonna
know.
rebet here, I would go to about 16.
Okay. And that is uh where I think I go different than you guys against bigger sizes. So when I see a big size, that's what I mean. They are more polar, in my opinion. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's just aces, kings, ace, king.
Well, I don't
Who
think,
knows?
my opinion is not aces and kings. My
Okay.
opinion is that most likely it's like the second tier of strong hands, and he's not particularly. He wants to win pre. Ace king off is the perfect example, and you see that a lot with this
Okay.
size, where nittier players don't just want to take it free.
Do you think players have bluffs when they use the sizing, the four big blinds?
Yeah, I think they could be polar, sure.
Okay. And that's actually so yeah, that's my reasoning not to go too big here. Um, because I feel like they will fold anyways
So
if
I
they
don't.
have bullshit.
So I'm going to disagree with this sizing. So this sizing is going to incentivize him to call with his entire range because it's small, and so you're not really. I mean, when you choose a sizing, especially pre, you really want to think about what your intention is. And your intention with King Jack off is to generate folds with your blockers because it's harder for him to have kings, it's harder for him to have jacks, and it's harder for him to have ace king. So your intention really is to generate a fold and win it free. And because of that, I think you would choose to be much bigger with your sizing here with a hand which is a bluff because you want to generate folds. You really don't want to play King Jack out of position.
Would you split your range into two sizes here?
Generally, I don't split my three bet sizing. Sometimes I'll cheat with aces and kings, but mostly I don't split my three bet sizing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if you wanted to cheat here with aces and kings to say I definitely want to keep him in, 12 is still probably going to do it.
Yeah, I think 12 probably.
Yeah.
This
Uh,
is yeah, this is I mean the way to just the basic principle here is what is your intention with your three bet? I don't think your intention is to play King Jack out of position, King Jack off out of position. So you're not really achieving, I think, what your goal here is, which is to generate a fold free.
Okay, I will make a note about that. Against bigger sizing, I should still go bigger. What is the sizing you would like? 14? Is 14 big enough? Because
16 to 18.
16 feels like horrendous big here to me.
Well, I mean, it's generally our default is that we're going to go 4x the RFI size out of position. And so 4x is
Yes.
16, but you want to generate a fold. So I think 16 to 20.
Oh.
I mean, you
Like,
don't want to go unless, it's a weird situation, broken stack. You don't want to go less than 4x out of position with your 3-bet size. And as Mike points out, there is post flop. The advantage is going bigger because you've lowered the SPR, which is a very good thing when you're playing out of position because you reduce the in-position player's advantage, positional advantage. So, I mean, let's just get back to basics also. I mean, you're paying a shit ton of rate, right? And when you're
mhm.
paying a shit ton of rate, you're highly incentivized to take it down free. That's why cash poker, especially high rate situations, has a very robust 3-betting scheme. And here you just really want to go bigger. You just really want to go 16 to 18 and try to generate a fold.
Okay.
But as played,
It has played. Yeah. But I can see your point. My problem, it's hard to explain, but I feel like then I cannot even bluff against 4 big blind raises when I go that big.
yay! That's great.
Yeah.
Because when they're sticking their neck out that far, because I mean, if GTO is 2.5 and 3 big blinds, and they're going to 4 or 5, the mistake they're making is that they're sticking their heads out too far, which means you can go pure linear against them and just print with that because that's the best way to exploit that mistake. Now, if they're also full,
Scotty, we
yeah,
lost you. Can you repeat what you said?
I think he said full of shit.
okay, I'll tell.
I'm pretty sure about that, right? If
I
they are full of shit.
think Scotty has
Yeah.
gone out of range temporarily. So we'll wait till he comes back. His mic is muted. We'll wait till he comes back. So okay, so in this situation, we chose to 3-bet small. He called. We get this flop.
Yep.
Um,
And second part of my experiment was basically watching Hungry Horse Poker, how he plays 3-bet pots out of position.
I think he checks
Well,
range,
yes, on most
except for
boards.
very, very strong hands. I think he only
Yeah.
bets thick value out of position.
Yes and no. So on this board, he would not check range because that board is not likely to get stepped.
Okay.
I think if there was a flush draw or something, or a little bit more going on like 9-7, it would be a rate check. But this hand still doesn't want to do anything and just see what our opponent does, right? So I checked.
Yeah. Let's see what he does.
Wait, did we 3-bet?
We chose a pretty savage 3-bet here.
I think this hand wants to c-bet to just get a lot of his air to fold. It's going to be hard if you bet small for him to defend his range properly. You just target a lot of auto folds. He's supposed to continue with like Jack 10 suited with a backdoor flush draw, Jack Queen suited, and a lot of that stuff on the flop. He's just folding when you bet.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I see your point. So we check, and what does he do?
Yeah. So before I watched the video about from Hungry Horse, I would have c-bet here, probably like at least 8 big blinds, maybe half pot, maybe even bigger. On this board, if I have pocket tens and better, I would just bet big, right? I'm not afraid of too many things. I would just bet, and I don't want to deny equity. But after watching his video, I try to implement what he's talking about just to test it out. That's all. So I was checking here, and our opponent checked back, which means he's probably very capped, right?
I would say he's at the very top of his range, or he is capped, yeah. He's got a set of nines, or he has nothing.
Yep.
So, or maybe eights. Okay, so now
Eights counts
I
as
think
eights
I
counts as
think
Hungry Horse Land because you're planning on getting on when your bluff may be for 94 big blinds. So pocket eights is included in the capped part, as is ace nine.
Yeah.
But set of nines and nine set and two pair are not the things that are going to call off all the way.
so. I think now we attack his ostensibly capped range. I would go B50 to B75. All right.
And you fold.
Well played, sir.
The problem is I love that in Scotty's hand we can always see what they did with what hand. I cannot do it in
It
my
is a
hand
very
side.
nice
Sorry.
bonus. Well, you also are welcome to play on Ignition Poker and bring hands up card histories if you want.
Maybe I should. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can switch.
So do you
Okay.
have one more hand?
Yeah, I have one more hand. After 2 hours playing the fourth 3-bet hand, I have.
Sin, do
Okay.
you want to play this one? Are you still with us?
Yeah, okay.
All right. So go for it. Bros above.
I mean, we know what I'm going to do, but we don't have to. Could just fold here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a clear fold with especially the three big blinds. He's already risking more of his stack. You have extremely marginal three bet candidate. I would just if you bet two, you three bet more often. But yeah, I assume you went for it.
Yep. I think so. GTO Wizard told me that is a fine 3-bet against button if I'm in the small blind, if I'm correct. So it's not horrendous, but it's a very low frequency thing.
Against a three big blind?
Oh, more. 2.5. I guess against 3, maybe we should go
You
a
have some
little
three
bit
bet
up
bluffs in
with.
this region. I mean, this region is used sometimes for three bet bluffs, yeah.
And villain calls. All right. Good luck, Mr. Sint.
I want to say one thing on Mike's comment. Mike says 3-bet more often versus the larger size, in my opinion. But Mike, you don't actually, what you mean is that a higher percentage of 3-bets compared to calls when you have a calling range. You don't mean that you're 3-betting more hands against a three big blind open than you are against a 2.5. It's the ratio of
Right.
raises to calls, right?
Yes. Yeah. Percentage wise, in terms. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the larger your
We're 3-betting
opponent is.
we're 3-betting a tighter range, and when we have calls, we 3-bet more often than we increase the ratio of 3-bets to calls. If we have no calls in the small blind anyway, we are just straight up tighter. Went to the larger
Yeah,
size.
the way to look at it is the bigger the RFI, the less UV pip.
Yep. Exactly. Okay.
So
Back to you, Nick.
two big blind, you can have a lot of flats when he's all in, and then you're extremely tight. I'm probably just done with this hand. Just check fold. He's gonna have so many continues on this board that it's not. Yeah, I'm just done with the hand already.
He's got a lot of queen X that is defending to a three bet. So generally queen high board like this is better for the three bet caller.
I mean, it's also just suited connected. So Jack 10, 9, 10, 7, 8. The only things we're beating are like ace X suited. And not beating that we can get to fold is ace X suited. And like if he has like sixes, fives. But yeah, I think this is a very high frequency check board in general. Probably good check range candidate.
And player 5 checks back. Now we are on the turn.
So we can remove good queen X from his range. His sets, his over pairs are all gonna bet. A lot of his flush draws are gonna bet. He might still have some draws or like low pocket pairs and some ace X. Like he could still have like ace Jack, ace 10.
I would say he can have a lot of ace X here, right?
Well, I think a lot of it is like ace X suited. Like if he has ace 3 of hearts, it's probably just going to stab on the flop. He can still
Okay.
have, he can definitely still have those, but I think a lot of people recognize that it's not good at showdown a lot, so they just bet it on the flop. So maybe remove like half of those combos, say he bets him on the flop. But either way, I think he has a lot of stuff we can put pressure on now that he checked. And we're at probably the bottom of our range. So I'd bet like 70%.
Why would you go that big on this flop?
On the turn.
Yeah. Sorry, on the turn, yes.
Uh, to just put pressure on his marginal hands and planning to probably just bet jam a lot of the time. Just assuming that he's capped here. And we can do this with our queen X, our overpairs, our sevens, our eights. But either way, he's going to really just struggle against pressure.
Yeah.
On a lot of
Yeah, I mean,
runouts.
okay, perfect. Yeah, actually, I agree. I went big again. I think it's 80% around that. They fold. So, that's it. We won.
Well played, sir.
I mean, I hope I will bring hopefully more of these spots in the next time because I really want to do this experiment for a little more and just see how it plays out, right? I will be in a lot of funny and crazy spots.
Yeah, I mean it's a fun experiment to play with.
As an experiment, I love the idea of doing it to everybody. And then if we're trying to decide um, against the right people to do it, given your range, you want someone who has a decent fold to 3-bet stat. If you're trying to play this strategy for profit, but to experiment with it, do it to everybody. Great.
What's the HUD situation on Party Poker these days?
0 huts.
Is it HUD's allowed, and then
No,
they don't have a built-in HUD, right?
no. There's no huts allowed, and if you don't own hands, they're anonymous. I have a problem spelling this word. You know, I don't see the names in the hand histories. So all I can do is take notes on the players in the game, and these notes will stay forever. So yes, these will be there, but you have no hard stuff like this.
Have you ever checked out Party Caption?
No.
So I used to play on Party Poker. There's a tool called Party Caption. It's not a HUD per se, essentially, but it allows you to bring up very interesting information. So it doesn't hold a history, but it allows you to do some pretty interesting mathematical calculations.
As
It's kind
far
of a
as I
fascinating
know,
tool you're allowed to use on Party Poker.
okay, if it's allowed, that's cool. If it's not, I wouldn't use it. Just
It's allowed. Go check out. Well, it was before. I mean, I don't think that's changed. It's called Party Caption. Go check it out. It's pretty cool.
all right, thank you. I will try that.
I mean, it was fun for me because, like, it goes beyond just figuring out pot odds. It'll figure out tons of very interesting stuff. It'll show you like what your geometric sizing would be, stuff like that. It's a cool tool,
Mm.
and it's cheap.
Okay. Am I a robot now or am I okay?
Right now, you're sounding
You're
great.
good to go, man.
Perfect. Well, we're parked, so this is good. So Mike,
Hey.
you got king queen offsuit in the small blind.
Oh, this is great. King queen in the small blind. Well, let's raise it up.
Okay, what size do you like in here?
Three.
Yep,
Just looking at this particular player, doesn't seem like any reason to go any differently.
Yep, three is great. And we're also, there's nothing wrong with 3.5, 4, or even up to 5 in GTO world. All those are great. Three is
Yep.
perfect. I do three. All right.
Okay. Well, I would be checking a lot here with my range. If I bet, I would often bet probably on the larger size on this board. And I think here I would probably check. I'll usually default to betting versus unknowns and fishier players, which this player seems a little bit on the fishier side, but he's also in the few hands that we've got with him, seems fairly aggressive. So I'd probably maybe lean towards betting more often than I would normally.
I like
But I think
that.
I'd check here.
Yeah, I like that adjustment. I think when we started and we see bet everything, it works. And then they have to adjust to it. And if they haven't adjusted to it yet, it still works. All right. So I don't see that in this guy, and I do this. Check, check, which is great.
Okay.
Yay for backdoors.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to bet this card in particular now, or do
because
I?
his checkbacks include air and showdown value, and his showdown value is ace high.
Yeah, although like as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I kind of changed my mind here. I think I probably just start betting now. Because we can get a lot of his pairs and other under pairs and to fold. I mean, I guess I'm probably gonna go half pot now that I think about it.
Okay.
I'm not checking.
Yeah. Great. I like that. The one thing that's going to be a problem for us is that we're not going to be able to tell the difference between an under pair and an ace by his response, because they're probably both calling. So I bet. I bet
And
just
that's
over.
okay.
Yep, there we go. We get to call. It'd be nice to get there. If we don't, then it's a little complicated.
Yeah. This card here kind of puts a little damper on the bluff, I think, because they're gonna hold on a little more. I mean, the eight obviously is a card that can improve his hand as well. He could have hit an eight here,
Yep.
and when they do have those under pairs, they tend to be stickier, I think.
Yeah. And
I
they
don't know if we
certainly,
can just get away with it or just check here and have some semblance of some showdown.
they,
So our
yeah,
fold equity is less, I think, with this card.
yeah, because they're not going to fold ace deuce now. They might have folded ace deuce to a big enough bet. Now they probably won't.
Yeah, so maybe I just give up at this point.
Yep. We have showdown value against against the king of hearts.
It's not zero. Our showdown value is not zero.
Small, but it's not zero. So I go for it, and this is just this is just a hope. That's all this is. All right, let's see what it was. Nice.
Well done, sir.
Yeah. The drastic problem with this though is that he calls with his jack here. Surprising he didn't bet his jack. He calls with his, yeah, I'm on the turn. He calls the turn with a jack. He calls the turn with pocket nines, and he calls the turn with ace X. And on the river, he probably folds pocket nines. He might or might not fold a jack, but he doesn't fold his ace. And I'm just shooting in the dark. And I just got lucky both that he didn't have an ace and that he's the kind of guy who folds a jack. So
Yeah, I
it
mean,
pretty
this eight of diamonds in particular is like the one card that I really didn't like. Like I would have fired for sure on the river on lots of different other combinations
what size
or
would you have fired
different
on?
river cards.
What fire size would you have fired on a deuce of clubs?
Probably like pot.
Okay, good enough. All right.
Is that kind of bad that I think this eight is bad for us?
No, No, I agree that you had a chance of getting ace deuce to fold on the river with a big enough bet. Now you have a much lower chance of getting ace deuce to fold. Um, I, you guys always tell me that now they're more likely to call with their pocket nines here. And I don't know why, because this card doesn't help pocket nines. This card hurts pocket nines. Um, this card helps if this card helps a hand like King King because now it beats Jack 4, something like that. But I don't know why the underpairs call more often here. I don't know why you would call more often with King 4 here. But I do know why you'd call more often with Ace Deuce. But you guys tell me that they do. And that's
Yeah, we
unfortunate.
might be full of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we have any evidence to back that up. It's
Yeah,
clearly available if we had access to MDA data, but
Yeah. Well, it's certainly, I mean, one of the things it does is it lowers the frequency of.
the thick value of eights.
Does it lower the frequency of full houses? No, it just lowers the frequency of two pairs that you got there with, but if you're still beaten by the one pair. Yeah, so I don't know. All right, Larry, you got this one in a second.
You
You go.
know? Same hand.
King 7.
Yeah, we can. This is, I think, cuspy. We can certainly open it.
It's cuspy. We went for it. Hope it's the same guy.
All right.
It's not the same guy. Different stats.
I think I prefer check here.
Yep. Check call is great here.
And see if he does. So he's saying.
Mhm.
So now he's saying he's got a heart draw, straight draw on 9.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think check raise is out of the question, but I think I'd rather have a heart to do it. I think
Mhm.
I'm gonna just call him.
Yep. I like it as a call. And if we don't improve and he wants to bluff this hand of the river, he gets to win.
The 7 spades with the king of hearts is a very interesting check raise, but this one I think we just call.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. We'll take a look at that if that check raise comes up. All right. Now the ace comes.
All right, we're gonna check.
We check.
So this down bet is
Yeah.
always interesting to me. I don't know really how to perceive this. I think it's in its own way polar. It's like I don't like my hand as much, or I just got too bad. But we're not going to fold to a down bet here, so we're going to call.
Yep. We're gonna call, and I would consider starting the raise here. I would consider it here to this down bet.
Yeah, I think this probably is linear, and we can maybe turn a
Yep.
marginal showdown into a bluff here.
We can also, from out of position, we can also do that on the river.
True.
And the only problem is if he goes check, check with his 9 on the river. So we can also donk the river as our bluff, which is always weird. Let's see. So I call. And here's the 6 of hearts.
All right. We'll check.
Okay. I'm considering donk bluffing here. Let's see which way we do it. I'm considering it right now. I don't know what I did in game. Nope. Just said I'm marginally made and went for it. He bets 14.
So he's tripled. So
Triple.
obviously it's kind of a weird spot.
Mhm.
I think folding is the default, but
Yeah.
How many hands do you have on this guy?
6.
All right. So do we ever hero here with third pair? Do we block thick value? No, we'd like to have a heart. Do we unblock bluffs? Who knows? It's very wide ranges.
Did the most obvious draw come in?
And the most obvious draw did come in.
Yes. Did he size up when the obvious draw came in?
He did,
He
but
did. I mean, not extremely, but he did.
he did.
Yep.
But we can't forget the configuration.
Yep, that's true. Absolutely.
I would hero here sometimes. I would actually roll for this and I would hero 40% of the time.
Okay. So let's choose anything but the random. Let's make the choice with some reason other than random.
The reason to call here is because we know that this extremely overbluffed line is overbluffed configuration,
Yep.
blind versus blind.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we don't have enough hands to know what kind of player type he is. So, the primary reason is because of the configuration. Um, and his line feels doubtful.
Right. And
Maybe his down bet on turn was because he has a draw.
Mhm.
But this is a very, I think this is kind of a bluffy line.
Okay.
Bet, down bet, you don't check raise, so you're capped. Now I bet big.
Okay. Good enough. And then the last thing is this. We have a bluff catcher. So let's always ask ourselves the question, does our bluff catcher perform better as a bluff? And for that, we want to look and say, does this size scream of not being a flush? If it
This
does,
size does not scream of not being a flush.
I agree. I agree. It doesn't scream of flush, but this is not a size where we look and go, that's never a flush. So I think our hand does not perform better as a bluff than a bluff catcher.
Okay.
So all right, so good enough. Let's see what I do this time. I go for the call and
Here's the straight.
the straight, and not a surprise. The ups when he bets bigger on the card that completes the draws from before this fits his hand totally.
It does, but I'm still always curious about their choice to down bet on turn.
Well, now we see why, right? Let's go into his head. He calls with 10-8 off. Here, okay. Flops a
He has
straight
an
draw.
open ender.
We check to him, takes a shot, wants us to fold. We call. The most obvious card comes in,
We have a lot of ace X we're defending, sure.
right? He's doesn't want to check here because he doesn't want to face the bet on the river that he has to fold to. He wants to maintain the lead, but this slams into our check call range.
Defending range.
And so if he gets check raised, he's scared. He doesn't want it, so he bet, and he doesn't want to put a bunch of money in. So he just bets small to try to maintain the lead. And if he gets check raised, he goes, well, there's my answer. And I guess I have to throw in my open ender if it's big enough. And if it's small, if we just go to 12 or something, he calls. I'm trying to be in his head now.
Okay.
Right? Then the river comes. This is great. If we bet out, he's not going to raise us. He's just going to call. When we check, he bets for value with this. It can't be huge because he sticks his neck out too hard for the flush, but he's not going to bet nothing. So it goes 2/3.
Okay.
Total, yeah. His hand
Okay,
makes
I can see it. I can
Yeah.
see it.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And the reason I think the thing that would push me towards the fold, which I didn't do in game, is how this completed, two of the obvious draws.
Yeah, it
If I
did.
had a hand like King Queen here, a hand whose showdown value can't beat any pair, I would or if I had pocket fives here, I would definitely fold because what this six brings in, along with bringing in the hearts, it brings in the 8-10 straight, and then the other two straights it gives a pair to. The 5-6 is now a pair,
Oh, that's a good point.
the 6-8. So I would always fold pocket fives here.
Actually, what funny? I have a king 7 hand. If you like, I share it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because it's not similar, but it's
Yeah.
I mean it's king 7.
Yeah, share yours because then I'll do that hand. So there we go. And then we'll move to the next person. All right. All right. Just I'm gonna share it again now. I just turned off the share. It was just the timing.
Oh,
Hit share
Yeah.
again.
all right. So I am on the button. King 7 offsuit is fine
Alright.
to
King 7
raise.
offsuit is a little low on the button. It generally is King 8 mixes, but you go for it. And so okay.
So you say I should fold this.
I would. I fold. Unless the two players in the blinds either have high fold to open. They don't defend their blinds enough, in which case, great, go for it. 2.3 is small on the button, but you can still do it. So you go for it. Good enough. And let's see who calls us. Big blind. Great. All right. He
Big
checks.
blind checks.
I would always check this behind here.
Why would you always check this behind?
Because in a GTO, in a simplified GTO strategy, this hand is clearly marginally made, and my marginally made hands want to call. My premium hands, which are my good aces, want to bet, and my draws want to bet. In
Okay.
a hungry horse world, ace high boards are we overbet or check, and this hand does not love the overbet, so it checks.
Mhm.
I can easily call a bet on the turn with this king 7, like that. And yes, I get protection because he has lots of hands that are going to fold here to my bet. He does. But there's more money to be made in the strategy where you don't protect all your hands. That's my reason. We'll take a look if I'm right on the GTO thing. So we got 2 GTO things to look at before we go on. All right, but that's what I would do. Let's see what you do.
I check.
That's why. 6. He bets 1.6. This is super easy. I just call. That's what I do with my marginally made hands. This is great. I call. And in my marginally made range, I also have some weaker aces, some of which have just turned into 2 pair. And against some people who are very aggressive, a little bit of nuts, not much. All right. So I always have something there. All right. The 9 comes. Let's see his size. All right. So his size makes me have to think. First of all, his size includes bluffs. I've definitely got that. Let's see which bluffs bricked out. Clubs didn't come in. 8-10 did, and the 8-9 now has value. So with this 9, I am close on folding.
Do you see some 5x?
Yeah, you can have 5x. You can definitely have 5x. Mike says the call is mandatory.
I don't know. I said seems.
Yeah. I was definitely calling a jack. I was calling any card that didn't complete a straight or didn't give the straight draw a pair bigger than my pair. So I think I'm gonna mix, and in this and at this moment I'm going to call because I have no club in my hand.
Okay. No, an extra question. Let's
Yeah.
say we're pretty sure that this guy has pretty much nothing here, or at best, what's his best hand he can have here? What would you think?
He can have ace 7 here and have checked and have checked to go for a check raise initially. He can have pocket 4s and initially did. When he goes for this 1.6, he's sort of feeling out our size because we checked behind, so we probably don't have an ace. So he can't go that big. We don't know his level of thinking, but if he's not just thinking about his hand, but he's thinking about our hand, his small bet makes sense with his biggest hands too. And now when we don't raise him, he's really trying to get called by, he's trying to get hands that don't have an ace to call him if he's at his nuts level. So I don't think he is capped, and I don't think we should turn our marginal value, our bluff catcher, into a bluff here.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I just called, but I was a little bit thinking about raising here just for the random case that he has something like 8-9, as you mentioned.
Right.
And
And
I'm not sure if he would bet 8-9 like this on the river.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right. And then Mike points out the thing. He says he can have all the value in the world, but his range is so wide he can have tons of nothing. And so in that situation, when someone is polar, we don't want to raise them because raising them, they get to fold all their nothing, which we were beating anyway, and they get to call all their everything, which crushes us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't turn into bluff. Let's see what happened. Queen 10. Yay, clubs. Exactly. Love it. Love it.
Okay, cool.
Love the play. Okay, let's take a look at two things here in Solverland and then go on to another hand. So I'm going to seal the screen. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Hello, Solverland. We'll look at your King 7. So on the button, the offsuit, as you see, the King 8 mixes heavy. So King 7's just a little bit wide. And then in the small blind, my King 7 was a little wide too. But you did it, and that's fine. We'll just give ourselves a King 7 suited, and it'll just be an irrelevant suit for playing it. We raise, small blind folds. His Queen 10 suited actually mostly raises us, but he didn't, and probably doesn't know that since most people don't. And the flop is ace. Give me
Ace of clubs, 7 of clubs, and 4 of spades.
There we go. Ace 7-4. He checks range. Our King 7 suited mostly bets. I was wrong. So we can bet this one. So this board is a 50-50 board. We bet lots of our best aces. We protect with some of our weaker aces.
You know what? You say it's wrong, but if if you think about the strategy Hungry Horse Poker is using, it makes sense. You can also do different stuff, right? You can go
Yeah.
polar here. You can
Mhm.
you don't have to merge everything in it.
Yeah.
King 7, in my opinion, obviously can bet because you get called by weaker 7x, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So here's where I'm wrong about the strategy. So the the sevens are quite linear here. The better sevens are betting more than the weaker sevens. There's a little queen 70 thing here that I'm not going to pretend to understand. But I thought that the sevens and the fours would be mainly checking. And the answer is they're not in this wide configuration. So they bet a lot there. The suits, it's nice to you check back a little bit more when you have the back door because you don't want to get raised. You're protecting with your best sevens, and you're protecting with your worst sevens, and then how much of the nuts do you have? You have a little bit of your 2-pair nuts here.
7,
You
7
have a little
pure.
bit of your ace nuts. So the super nuts are being checked back a little bit. And so that's how you protect your range there, when we're talking about that. But I thought that these were all checking, so they don't. But it's certainly not a mistake to check, and that's what we do. So we check
Turn is a 6 of hearts.
the 6 of hearts. And now when we take the check line, he can now start betting. He does. He has Queen 10 suited. And he has the Queen 10 of clubs, and it likes to bet. And when it
Yeah.
bets, it likes to bet 7.32. All right.
Which he didn't. He used a 26% pot sizing.
Yeah. So it likes to overbet, but he bets small. No, didn't he bet 3? No, didn't he bet 3.9?
He bet like 1/3 pot.
He did?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it was my
just
guy who bet
once.
3.9. Okay, so he bets small.
Mhm.
All right. So he bets small,
I guess
which
we could look at any other flush draw that would use that sizing. I
doesn't
don't know
matter.
which one, if there's any.
We don't need him to play right.
That's
But
true.
now we see it. Our King 7 calls pure.
Yep.
Our 9-7 has a little bit of raising in the 8-7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a straight draw, and this is something.
Blocking 8, 9, I guess. Some I
Yeah, the
don't know.
9.
One
Not a straight draw, but
continue.
I guess it can I guess it can continue bluffing, because it'll block the straight it'll block the nut straight when it comes in, or some nonsense that I don't care about. But mainly the 7's call, which makes sense. So we call our 7.
Oh, and his best ace is ace 9, I guess.
And now,
Should be something like this.
now we get the river is
Oh.
the 9 of what?
9 of hearts.
9 of hearts. 9 of hearts. And he decides to bluff for 3/4 pot.
Yeah, 69%.
There we go.
Pretty good sizing for the river.
Yep. And we just call our best sevens. You know, King 7 is good enough to call. Queen 7 starts to get nervous. Jack 7 is terrible. 10-7 blocks. What nuts?
Unblocks bluffs, I guess.
No,
That's
6,
all.
7, 8, 9, 10. Blocks 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, you mean like
Blocks
better
the
hands.
nuts. 9-7, 2 pair. 8-7 blocks, but but it still blocks some nuts. So King 7 is good enough. It's just like that. So that makes sense. And the thing I was just wrong about was on the flop. I didn't think I thought we always check behind. All right. And then mine was the small blind versus this, and we wanted to look something about this. So let's go back to here. Redo it. Small blind raises.
Actually, I wonder, but you cannot do it here, right? If you would use an AI solve and go like the other strategy, like overbet on flop or check, maybe you just see what you just described, right? 7x would always check.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Here we go. So mine was 7-9 of heart. So now we're at with that hand. Okay. So 7-9 of hearts, and I didn't even bother to look at what the other card was. 4 clubs. Here we go. Our hand is a King 7. And so we have, and our particular King 7 is offsuit is the King of clubs. So we're going to say that that's meaningless. Since we have to choose one of these. So mostly checks, some betting with the middle pair and of all sizes. All right. So we take the check line. All right, that's what we did. We check. And on the flop, he bets at least 50%. So we check. He bets basically 50. I'll call it, he bets 3.8. So that's actually closer to this. So we'll give him the 70. And all of our sevens stick around. A little bit of check raising. So yeah, you can. You said you would check raise with a heart, which is the same as check raising with club. And it actually likes it a little better without it because it doesn't want to throw away the equity of that rather than use the equity. There we go. We call. Turn is the ace of spades. And we start donking on the ace of spades, not on this line. We check. He bets small. Here, he down bet to 3.9. Ish, right? 4.31. Yeah, that's certainly closer to this. And on this, we just call our 7, but we still have some raises here. Mostly call. The 2 pair does it, which is what we did. And then on the river, which is the 6 of hearts. We check, including when we have the hearts. And now he went out and bet 69%. And now we are indifferent. We do some raising. Look at this.
To be fair, this sim looks a little bit
Insane.
That is not correct. Whatever that is 33%
This sim is broken. This sim is broken. Yeah,
Yeah, because of the
every hand,
turn.
same thing.
It's
Okay.
because of the turn, the small bet on the turn.
Oh, that it just didn't exist.
Yeah.
His turn strat. Let's go back to him. We check.
You're still on the river.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you. The big blind bets. So it's here. He has what size? He has 0 of them. Yeah. So let's at least do something where the solver exists. So let's give him the 50% pot.
The solver didn't even try that. He's like,
Didn't even
no.
try to solve it. It just went, it went, screw you. Okay.
Skip that.
Right. Okay. So in the big blind here, we want to, where's the 50%? I'm in the wrong, I'm in this node. Here we go. We can't give him 3.9. He has none of them. Let's give him this and see if it even bothers to give us a solve. This is a solve. We call. And now the river is the 6 of hearts. We check. He bets a side. He has one hand that he's here with and he just doesn't bet it. All right. We're done with this solver.
Can you go back to Bub's version and make it an ace 8-4 so we can see how king 8 on the flop, king 8 off on the flop
Sure.
reacts?
Yep. All right. So let's go back here. I didn't save it, so we have to just rebuild it, which was Bub opens, gets called in the big blind, gets and
So the flop would
King,
be
eight
of
ace of
clubs.
clubs. No, ace of
Yeah.
clubs, 8 of clubs, 4 of spades.
there we go. And we have king 8 off now. Great. So he checks. Our king 8 off, which I was always checking back, does not always check back.
Okay.
And our particular suits were
King of hearts, 7 of diamonds.
okay. King of hearts, 8 of,
Eight of diamonds in this
yeah,
case.
king of hearts, 8 of diamonds, right there. So yeah,
Okay.
checks a significant amount, and the bet size that it likes the most is small.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Up next is, I'm gonna guess,
So
Bub.
I was with you, Scotty. I thought that would check a lot more.
Yeah. Okay. So let's not see the hands. Okay, so that was me. So up next would be Larry hasn't gotten one yet in a while.
All right.
Larry.
We like ace king suited.
Yeah, we do.
I would ISO to 5,
Mm-hmm.
but he is a small, maybe 4 against this broken stack.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable
We
adjustment.
want action. I
Yeah.
would maybe go 4.
Yep, 4. I just stayed with a straight up 4.5. And we got action.
All right.
And is the pot big enough now that we're just going to, relative to that we're just going to jam? I don't think so.
We don't have to jam.
I meant just jam range. It's just like, because like if he had 10 big blinds left, it would just be fine. We're all in no matter what. But that's not what's going on. He
So
checked.
yeah, we flopped really well. Our SPR is 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one way to think about this is to just bet 45%, bet half pot, half pot, half pot, and I think we just simplify it to that. Let's just bet half pot, half pot, half pot,
Okay. And
which
what
is
do you think,
essentially geometric.
right? And what do you think about making the first bet a little smaller to make sure that every pocket pair calls once?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's just so the half pot good. If we go half pot, the pot will go to 20. Then we go 10, and he'll have 20. He'll have 28 left. Then we go 10. He'll have 18 left. Then we go 20. Yep, that'll work. So half pot. So yeah. So I go
Yeah,
a
this is fine.
little smaller than that, in a desperation hope to get a call.
This very always interesting click. So, what is he doing this with? Well, the obvious answers are he's doing this with a lesser king X, which we hope. He's got bluffs. He also has maybe 6s, maybe queen 6, who knows? I generally don't think we need to raise here. And if we shove here, he's going to call off with his flush draw, so we like that. He's going to fold out his bluffs, and we can't be sure we're going to get called by a lesser king. And I would say his most likely hand is like a lesser king. So
Yeah.
I prefer a calling position.
Yep. And no matter what happens, all the money will end up in on the river because he's either going to put it all in and we're going to call, or if he doesn't try to put it all in, we will, right?
Yeah, there's not many runouts where we don't try to play for the money hands.
Club.
Yeah, maybe run a club.
Yep.
All right. I think that's probably a good card.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a fine card.
And so he does what?
He checks.
All right. So now what is our SPR? SPR is 1.
Hmm.
Um, I think I like, we've got, I just say we've got 10.
Okay. Yep.
And there's just nothing. If we've got 10, the only thing he's um folding are his club draws on the river.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. I go, I go for let's make sure we get a little more from the club draw.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yep. And if he jams here, I may be beat, but I'm not folding. And he does.
And so, yeah, we are going to be way behind here sometimes,
Mhm.
but not all the time. And our hand is too good to fold, especially
Yep.
for this price. So we call.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And we lose two. King, queen. Not a surprise.
Not nice and so nice.
Not a surprise. Okay. I'm gonna have to go now. So let me make Larry the host.
Good
Okay.
luck.
All right. Thank you
But
all.
so you were here on Friday, correct?
I am here on Friday. I will see you guys then.
All right.
Yes, Scotty.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So guys, I've got a hand I played in a home game, and then I built a solve for it. You guys want to look at that? Not everybody yell at once.
You're the host, Larry. You get to do whatever you want. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So this is kind of a goofy hand, but share this hand. So I'm playing in a home game, and it's just a fun game. Everybody was opening 2x. It's pretty soft, so I wanted to get invited back. So I'm just doing what everybody else does. Normally I'd open a lot bigger in live poker, but here I'm just going to open. I'm going to go along with the crowd. So I get another invite. I'm the only old guy there, so it's hard. I want to make sure I can get invited back. So I'm going to the very small and probably inappropriate sizing here. We get a call. And then we get a really good flop.
I actually, that is a interesting advice, right? If you want to play a home game, just do what they do. They
Yeah, I
open
mean,
to
I don't want
10x, just open to 10x.
I don't want to go in and I
Do
want to
you?
respect their customs, I guess is the way to put it, and just because I want to be invited back. There's a little bit of politics that goes in the world of private games. So
Do you change? So when you are just opening for 4x, 2x, are you actually changing your range, or do you just play whatever?
well, I'm changing my range mostly because there's no rake. That's really what's driving. So my range is a lot wider than what the ranges we're used to. There's
So
no rake.
what would be your weakest hand you open here when there is rake, and what hand is the weakest you are opening here?
When there is rake or when there is no rake.
Yeah, exactly. Both positions. So what's the weakest you would open when there is rake? And what's the weakest you're
On the
opening here?
You see, so we are playing 2, 4. We were 6 people at this point. 2, 4, 6 people. So probably the weakest hand I'm playing was rake here on the offsuit legion of aces is ace 10 off. I'm playing all suited aces. On the offsuit king region, I'm opening king jack off. I am folding queen jack off. In the suited connectors, I am opening 10-9 suited and folding everything below. And as far as pairs, I'm going down pretty far because there weren't many free bets in this game. So I'm going to get to realize my equity. So go down to 4s. And as far as suited king X, I'm a little bit of a nut on nit when it comes to suited king X early. So I'm probably gonna just start with king nine suited, maybe king eight suited.
Yeah, that sounds very nitty. I think even in normal games you can open like king six suited here
Yeah, I'm a little
with
nitty when it comes
rake.
to when it comes to king X.
Mhm.
So
And
so we
here
get
in this game, still
okay, so in
king
this
nine
game, how does
suited.
that change?
Yeah, how does it change?
So I'm gonna start opening, I'm gonna go down to like ace eight off, and I am gonna open down to king five suited. I'm probably gonna open more suited connectors like nine eight, eight seven, because I'm not getting through that. And I'm gonna open probably down to threes. I'm gonna open, I'm not gonna open queen nine suited, I'm gonna open queen 10. Um
And in the
I
offsuit, you had king jack offsuit, I think in the other
yeah, I
range.
probably now open king 10 off too, but I still skip queen jack off.
Oh, okay. Okay, nice, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. So we have a beautiful flop here. I mean, we can certainly bet. But I chose to check here, hoping for a check raise. Again, maybe not the best way to get invited back, but I love the check raise. I was hoping for a check raise. But uh he does not comply. So now we turn the nuts. So I think we can use a bunch of different sizings here. We have a very deep SPR. I'm not really happy with my sizing here, but I think his range is capped. So I don't mind this size. So I choose a small size. I go about half pot. He calls. And now we get a very interesting river. But I still think I have thick value. So I choose to use a 2x overbet here. And we get paid.
Hmm.
Did not know. I did not have a reveal. So that's the hand. It's not the most exciting hand, but I thought it was be interesting because it's an out of position hand, and I thought we could go down a couple of the trees, right? I mean, we can go down the thick value tree, see what we do. But we can also we should have a lot of bluffs available to us here, especially after check on flop. And I thought we'd go down a couple of the bluff trees and see where our bluffs are coming from and how the solver likes to actually execute those bluffs. So, oops, that's what I want to do. Anyway, stop share. Oh, stop share. Share. All right, so here's the hand in the solver. The sizing is a little screwed up. I apologize, but should be pretty similar. So the first question is, we'll look at what I gave as ranges here. So these are the ranges I gave. I gave him about move this out of the way. So this is our range I was opening with here. So I'm giving myself about 15% of hands. This is his defending range.
Wait. You gave yourself this range, but we just talked about it. Actually, you would be wider. Ace 8 offsuit, you said king 10 offsuit.
You're right. I contradicted myself, Beelzebub.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct. So here is his defending range. I think he's going to have some traps. I give him a little, some aces.
And I
A
think
little wideish,
this range,
a little
uh,
wide than he probably should be, but nothing really out of line.
wow. So personally, I think in a no-reg game, but I don't know the people, right? So maybe they just play tight, but I feel like this is a very tight range. Um,
Could
in
be.
a no reg environment, and also against a 2x open. I mean, I would
Could
play
be.
like any 8 suited hand, probably any jack offsuit, like queen jack offsuit, king jack offsuit. I'm not saying I'm 3-betting or calling. I'm just saying I would continue in one way, and yeah, I mean folding ace 9 offsuit, why not? But I also would play any pair.
Okay.
And
That's your point.
a lot of suited connectors.
All right. So first thing is that's interesting here is that solver doesn't ever, I gave it tons of sizings here, but it just likes to use a small size. Let's compare ranges and why this is building. We certainly have a equity advantage here. We have very similar amount of combos that are in this hand. But we have obviously the aces and kings and queens that he doesn't have, so we have a little bit of an equity advantage. But it's playing, as we can expect, pretty conservatively here. I don't know. It may not be true. I don't think it's playing conservatively. It's betting a lot here on the king high flop, which we see a lot, and I think that is a very common heuristic. Is that we are going to bet king high flops a lot, even out of position. Uh, I think in this example, we have a little bit more king X than he does, but so I chose to bet. I chose to check here. He checks a ton in solver land against this king high flop, but we've got a range advantage. So his check makes sense. And when he does bet, it's quite polar. He's using pot a lot. So if you look, let's look at his, and we're still not to the point where we're polar in our play. He's betting across range a lot with his sizing. And he's also early days in the hand. He's mixing his two sizings that he's choosing here. He's a little bit more, obviously, the top of his range, like his sets. He's got a little bit more big size, a little bit more pot size, but we're still mixing in solver length. But he checks. Another hand gets more interesting. We get the 3 of spades here. And the question is, what are we doing? So let's look at our flushes first. So let's bandwidth full. So surprisingly, it likes to bet pure with the ace king, which we have, even though we're blocking king high flushes. I thought it would. Sometimes it likes to check here
I think
because it's blocking king high flushes, so there's not as much for them to call. But it's not choosing to do
true,
this here.
but the king also is just a pair, right? So if he has, yeah, I mean, if he has a king of spades, he has a king. So somehow you're also blocking the top pair.
Yeah, I'm blocking continues, right? So I'm kind of surprising that it likes to bet here. But not like an example would be the ace 2 suited, where it's choosing large sizes because it's unblocking like all his flushes. It's unblocking king flushes, it's unblocking queen flushes. So it's choosing a very big size with ace 2.
Yeah, ace 2, ace 4, ace 3 makes sense because they basically unblock everything in between the ace and the 6.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's interesting.
if you look at ace queen suited, it would check more, I guess, a lot more than ace king.
Which one?
And ace queen, an example, yeah, actually anything which doesn't block the king. The
It's
king
check.
suited.
It's check, yeah. 2-1. Let's cheat a little bit and begin to look at where our bluffs are coming from. So we can already see this is the city graph, right? Just to remind you guys, highest equity hands on the right here, which it sees as the ace 8 down, and then we're already seeing it beginning to become polar with these middling single pair hands, with its checking, trying to get the showdown. And then here are the bluffs. The bluffs are probably going to be composed. So ace two, interesting. Nope. Essentially no equity down here. Here, where do
Hmm.
the single spade bluffs come in?
Yeah,
Which are
with
the
yes,
most
right.
obvious
So you
bluffs?
start with ace 10, right? So I would
Prior
guess
here.
ace of spades, 10 of
Here they
would
are.
start something, but they don't.
And with let's look at bar width full. So there's like the ace. So the most obvious bluff hand here to take and double with is probably the ace of spades. Not, I guess it's a draw. But we'll go back to that line. Let's just focus on what we do here when we've got our hand, and then we'll go back to a couple other lines. So we could choose the size I chose here, which is a small size. It's mixing. He calls, and then we get the king of hearts. So we don't have the nuts, but we don't care. But what is our equity now? So our equity is still really big. So that must be because he just doesn't have enough votes here on this. We run out. He's defending sixes. I gave him sixes. He's defending nines, but it's just not a big enough part of his range. So maybe one way to think about this is we don't care if he's got votes. We're still going to go for value. And the solver, I mean, its equity's gone down because doesn't have the nuts, but it doesn't care. And also it might be because he's supposed to in position raise his sets. So he has a lot less sets because he didn't in position raise them. But it thinks solver thinks we've got really thick value here. And so it is using a large size. I think, move this out of the way. Pot is 128. It's mixing between, it likes pot the most. Here are the sizes. The pot's 128. It likes 128 the most. So it thinks that solver thinks my sizing is a little greedy. But oh well, life goes on. It prefers to use a pot size bet here. So when we use, I think my size is probably too big because it folds out. Let's compare and contrast how much we fold out. So if we use pot here, he calls with 37% of his range.
Yeah, any king for sure.
And yeah. And yeah, his kings are always calling the size.
And pairs can fold. I mean, if you look at pocket tens here, pocket tens can actually fold already against this sizing. And I guess when you go even bigger at pocket tens.
And in theory, when we use 2x pot, what's really happening here is
Yeah, I got it.
he only calls if he's got a spade blocker. And if he doesn't have a spade blocker, he's just not. These are all not flushes. He doesn't have a spade blocker, he's beginning to fold. But if we bet pot, he's always calling with his kings. So we probably are not getting enough value when we go 2x pot in solver land. So when we let's see. So when we bet, what's the worst hand he calls here? We bet 2x pot. You can look here. So these must be, yeah, he likes to call with ace queen. That's very weird.
Yeah, it's weird. But it's the solver thing, right? Because he's
Yeah,
saying,
that's
okay,
blocking
you have
nuts.
the nut flush or you have basically nothing.
It wants to hero with these under pairs when it's got the blocker. So it's gonna hero with the under pairs when it got the blocker. And what's its weird bluff down here? This must be and then his weird bluff is all in when it's got the ace of spades. But it doesn't really take it against this size. So what about if we use pot? Now, see when we use pot, see what happened to the ace of spades? Now it's going to take this bluff pure as a shove. But when we use this size, it just doesn't take it that much. That may be another reason. Well, we have the ace of spades, so that doesn't make sense. So, all right. So let's
But you know what? Your line would be extremely strong if you bluff like this on the river.
yeah, it should be really polar, but it often is not, including with me, right? It's much more linear than it should be.
But I'm just saying, against people, it would, I guess, it would work because look at his defending range. There's no way there's no way I would call like 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds here.
Yeah, it's an under bluffed line.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely an under bluff line. So it's kind of a weird spot. All right, so let's see. Let's go over some bluff lines, right? It's even in how to play our thick value. But let's find out about our bluffs. So we should have a very plentiful amount of bluffs when we go check. And he checks back, right? So let's look at his, again, on the right is thick value. He's very protected, right? He's mixing across his entire range. He doesn't yet have a very polar strat on this early days, but let's just say, well, his most common size here is a small bet. Let's go back to us and see where our check raises are coming from. So our check raises here when he chooses the small bet. We're going to have check raises all over the place, right? So the big thing is that our thick value, which is our set of nines, is not check raising. But what about our flush draws? So we do get some check raises with our flush draws, but not that much. Doesn't really want to. It really wants to realize its equity. What about aces? Aces are check raising a ton. And what size did it likes? It likes to go 3x with its check raises here. So aces are a pure check raise on this wet board, wet dynamic board. Kings are calling. Queens are calling. Kings here, 90% equity. Aces, notice? Oh, wait, kings are set. So kings are not check raising as much because they've got set. Here, we're check raising. I guess we like on this board, we like protection. We can kind of see that too, because notice when we have the ace of spades and he does not have the nut flush draw, we need less protection. We have more equity because he does not have the nut flush draw. But when we don't have the nut flush draw, we check raise.
Even Jack 10 is not raising, right? Jack 10 of spades is just calling.
Jack 10 of spades. Good one. Let's see. Jack 10 of spades. It's mixing.
Yeah, and Queen 10 is probably the same, right? It's like these are the only two I could, yeah.
I mean, I think really the takeaway is that in these kind of spots where we check and he bets small, we can take a check raise, and it's really good to do it with like our front doors, obviously. We're mixing on our back doors too with the clubs.
I mean, we don't do it. We don't do it often.
And the other thing is that ace king really just wants to call. What about like eights? We just don't really fold that much to the small size. We just fold out our trash.
Why do you think that the 6-6 and the 9-9 don't do a lot of check raising and the ace king doesn't do a lot of check raising?
Well, that's a good question. Why you would think sixes would be the one that would really check raise a lot.
Yeah. And they do it, but
Sixes is a really dream check raise here.
Yeah.
And so is the nines. I don't think I have a good answer for you.
They do it a third. I guess it's just that we don't check raise this board that much.
Yeah, we are. That's a very good point. The normal
Well,
number, excuse me, the normal number we see here is like 14 or 15%. Someplace between 12 and 15%. We would check raise.
Right, right. And now
But here we're
it's
on this texture,
mhm.
it's 7. Now, I mean, the way to really answer these questions is look at range versus range interaction. So when we raise, he might overfold. But more interesting. So if we raise here, is there an obvious answer as to why we check raise less? It might be because of the. It might be
so
because
my only answer here would be we are out of position and this board has 1 gazillion draws.
it is a very wet texture. It's a dynamic texture, I think is the term actually. So yeah, it might be that, but I don't have a clear answer. Frankly.
Yeah, me
Maybe.
neither, but that would be the only one because he can have queen 10, queen jack, 10 8. He can have spade draws, he can have any king, he can have trips, he can have. So I guess this board is way too dynamic, as you mentioned.
So I mean, we obviously
And
do
we
have
are
check
auto
raises. I mean, we've got our check raises mostly are going to come from like, well, there's our flush draw. The obvious one is like this ace 5, ace 4. We love check raising ace 5, it seems. Ace
I give you
7 and
another
ace 7 and ace 8 are interesting because they are combo draws. Ace 7 and ace 8 are definitely in there.
Mhm. And I'm pretty sure that after we check call, we check raise a lot of clean turns.
Well, let's go down the check raise line. So let's say we do
Oh, okay.
take the check raise, right? He calls, imposition. He calls.
I mean, then we start blasting.
Let's give ourselves the same. Well, the most interesting thing is what do our sets do now? So if we check raise here, now this is always interesting and I find counterintuitive. When the draw comes in,
The 9s keep blasting, 6s keep blasting.
true, but we check a lot. Look how much of our range we're checking.
Yeah, because
So check, bet small, raise, call, turn completes the draw. It's a flush draw, and now we're checking 82% of our range.
yeah, but
I mean, if you just
I
focus on the
think-
nines and the set, so their equity's gone down. They still have a shit ton of equity, but it's gone down.
But
And then the other thing is that like we're checking pure with the nuts.
this board we don't check raise a lot, and I think that is a problem. We don't really have a huge range here. We could continue on turn because we don't check raise enough on flop. But I feel like after we check call, we can do a little bit more on the turn, on a blank turn. The problem is just that this board has just too many. There's so many cards that you would hate with your range. That,
And also the interesting thing is that we're not taking like the most common size here would be like a B197. Like when you look in GTO Wizard, it's going to use a B75 a lot, but we're just using the small size here, which is a half pot. So let's just say we do take this size now. He calls. We get the King of Hearts. Now, where do obviously this doesn't happen a lot. You can see our range is it's down to not very many combos here. We are now playing 0.5828 combos like this. And he's got 9 combos that he gets here with. So, let's look. So thick value. We're going all in with obviously our boats. What do our flushes are shook a little bit when we filtered his range so much when we check raised, and then we chose to continue betting on turn. Our flushes now are using a small size, right? So pot is 512. Flushes are using a block size. And then here are our hand, and then our lesser flushes are checking. We're mixing in some ace high flushes in this. And then our bluffs are like set blockers, boat blockers, I guess now. 10-9, 10-6 blocking boats, ace-9, ace-6 blocking boats. Those are our 18% equity out. Well, so if we really want one heuristic, which I think is interesting, which maybe we can apply to humans, is if we do check a bluff line here, we raise, we check raise, they call, flush completing, we bet small, they call. And then full house comes in, paired board. We really like our boat blockers to be our bluffs. And obviously this is our thick value, which we're sometimes trap checking. You know, like so pure check the nuts, which is kings. Okay. Let's take some other lines. Unless you guys want to do something else.
Uh,
Let's see what's
I,
in chat.
I was
There's
away
100 more
for
slime
a
spirit boats.
I was away for a second, but I was just interested about the check call line. Did you look at that one
Sure, we can look
already?
at that. So if we check here, so we check, right?
Yep.
And then you want him to bet?
Oh wait, but yeah, check call is good.
So we're folding a lot. So essentially we're calling half the time,
Mhm.
folding 40%, and the rest goes into our check raise.
It's only 7%, and we are mainly calling, right? That is our main line, and we also have any hand that we could raise in our calling line. And that makes it more interesting for me.
So I'll repeat that last part.
Any hand we could raise is also in our calling range.
We can't, yeah, that's right. We don't have any pure check raises.
Mhm.
The closest we get to check raise is the nines. But we don't really have any pure check raises here.
So that's why I like the check call line, because that is what we would, if you want to simplify, just check call here, right? You never check raise.
Yeah, but I think check raises are important to have. I mean, I think check raises are, I mean, so I was watching, so a couple weeks ago, the guys who run GTO Labs, which is Dan Devorez and Nick Petrangelo and Jonathan Jaffe, they were having a watch along with the WSOP final table, main event final table, which is cool, right? Because you got to sit there and ask them questions and see how they think about hands. And I asked them, out of all of their coaches and the members on their GTO Lab team, who was most effective at check raising, and they said Ike Haxton. Ike Haxton is very focused on meeting his check raise frequencies in game.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow. Because I think Ike Haxton arguably is I think Ike Haxton is one of the best players in the history of poker because he thinks totally outside the box sometimes. And so to respond to your question or to your comment that well, let's just have this be a call node with no check raises. I don't think is what we want to do. I think we always want to have check raises. We have
Okay.
check. The thing that is really good about check raises is it doesn't allow your opponent to bet with impunity when we check, right?
Okay.
We check
I'll
raise
give you.
partly so they just can't always bet when we check.
Mhm.
We always want to have check
Uh,
raises.
Okay, let's say you use the wrong hand to check raise here. Do you think that's a problem?
Use the wrong hand.
Like,
Well, I
I
hope
mean,
that
let's
when
say
we
you
come
have king,
here, we
you have king
learn
9,
what the
and
right
you would
hands
check.
are, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious what, I mean, it's not obvious, but we
Why is
begin to
it
learn what
obvious?
the right hands are.
Top 2 is not a clear check raise. Bottom set can be check raised. Okay, that's fair. Actually, it's only sets that can be check raised here and bluffs. And some
Sets and
a6.
bluffs. So here are our check raise. These are the hands we're check raising. So
I wouldn't find this. It for me, it's pretty hard to see this because I
no,
would think like,
we're check raising aces.
okay. And what about king 9? Why are we not check raising this one?
Um,
It's like
we
obviously
are,
we
but
can
just not
say,
very much.
yeah. And then the thing is, yeah, we can say like, yeah, we block top pair, but I feel like that is uh it's very hard to explain why we don't check raise certain hands on this board because naturally we would think like, okay, Jack 10, yes, Jack 10 is a check raise, but is it only with the correct suits? I don't even know for sure.
Jack 10, we really want to have
Yeah, with
the
correct
combo draw,
suits, okay.
right?
That's something I could see.
Jack 10
Uh,
is a great check raise here,
yeah.
right? We've got the queen and the spades. It's a really good check raise.
And aces don't wanna check raise with when they have a spade or when they don't have a spade.
They check raise all the time, but they check raise less when they have a spade
Yeah, it's so
because they need less protection.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for me to get a. You know what I mean? When I see boards, I want to get heuristics like that flash into my mind. The only thing I see is Jack 10, Queen 10, and everything else is like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on around the Jack 10 and Queen 10. I could see myself raising top 2 here. I could see myself raising top set here because top set can be easily outdrawn. Why wouldn't I raise top set? And that is when it gets really hard for me. It's
Well,
like,
I mean, so the solver's doesn't really have feelings, so it's not like we do. So it's not really,
no, it's not
it's
about
not
feelings.
driven
It's
by,
more
it's not driven by wanting, by getting sucked out on. It's not driven by not wanting to get sucked out of, right? That's
okay.
not
I
what
get
drives it.
this.
What drives it is that its equity is 90% with kings.
Hmm.
Not, and also that 40% of the time the board's going to pair and it's going to have the absolute nuts.
Hmm.
So when it's got this much equity and someone's betting, it's not as interested in check raising because it
I
doesn't
mean, it's
want
not.
to, it wants to continue, it wants the hand to continue. It doesn't want to end the hand. Aces are a little different. Aces are still a very strong hand, but they do benefit from protection.
Yeah, it's
Queens, the
just a one pair
underpair just
hand.
really want to get to showdown. And they have backdoor action going on. Jack's the same, 10's the same. And then nines, they also are check raising for the reasons that we always set check raising, which is they unblock your continues, right? They unblock kings,
Mhm.
they unblock spades. And so you have a lot you continue with 88% equity. So, I mean, you can see it here. So bet. So, we're already linear, right? We've got, we're not, we don't have a lot of check raises on this board. But we
Could you
do
tell
have like Queen
me?
10 is an interesting one.
Could you
Uh,
tell me another board where you see these low check raise frequencies
I'm sorry, when you what?
after betting? Check, he bets, and you want to raise. D- could you tell me some other boards where you think like, yeah, there we always have like these low frequencies and explain why? Because otherwise it's pretty hard for me to see the check raise lines. I- I'm not sure if I explain it in a good way.
So you're not understanding why we're check raising
E-
certain hands? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, I understand why we check raise these hands here because we have a lot of equity. Like Pocket Kings has a lot of equity. Yes, Trip Nines has a lot of equity. Another board, I give you an example board, but that is a kind of easy one, I guess. Would be like Queen 9-6. I mean, that's very similar, right? I would expect that we do the same on Queen 9-6 when it's suited.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to open up something so we can look at some stuff. Hold on one
Yeah.
second, so I can just focus on this. It's being stupid. Stream.
So I give you what I think, what I do out of position is just when there are 2 or 3 gaps between the top and the second card, which was the King 9 here, right? We have 10 Jack, Queen Jack. These are all already connected to this. They all have gut shots. And now also the middle card is connected to the bottom card. That is very bad for out of position. That is just my clue here. I don't have a better clue to explain why we cannot check raise that often because this board is just so scary for us. Because we are out of position and we don't know what he has, but he can have any draw in this world. You
Well,
know what
let's
I
look
mean?
at, yeah, so let's look at maybe an ag report will help. I don't, maybe it not. So let's find out. Try and open hash, 8 racks, show, raise, call,
Oh, actually,
fold,
before we do that, maybe look at the range I asked for, which was he bets, we call, and let's see on the turn card if we check raise more on the turn. Just
check.
for this board. Because then I guess we are now going even deeper to a lot of boards that we could look at.
Okay, so first, so what was your question?
Okay, so actually we started with my question was we check, he bets, we call, and no look on the turn. Your line was check raise. And I said, I believe if we check call, we will do a lot more check raising on the turn on blank turns. So after we check, he bets 32, we call. And the turn is the exact same card we had. I don't know. I don't even remember which one that was.
Three of spades, we check.
Yep, we check. And now if he bets, I would assume.
Use a
I mean,
B75.
here we cannot raise because he also has all the flushes.
No,
Yeah, okay.
we raise some, we raise, what should we raise? We raise,
It's a low frequency raise. We can
yeah, we don't
raise
raise
here.
a lot. We raise
Okay,
some, we don't raise a
give
lot.
it a 3 of hearts because that would make more sense from my point. Because I
Give it a
believe
3 of
on a 3 of hearts, after we check, I hope that we can check raise a lot more.
Check. So here, he uses, He really likes it when the flush doesn't complete, so he uses a big bet here. He uses
Mhm.
overbet. We're not gonna check raise a lot against this size. We never check raise against this
True.
size.
Yeah. Once he goes that big.
And then we do check raise against this size.
Hmm.
All right, I got something else we can look at here. So the question is check raise frequencies.
Yeah. On what boards and where are we slowing down so much that
Okay, so this is an ag report of the same position. Under the gun opens, button calls, flop doesn't matter. We check, we bet small. This is our reaction, right? So across this entire, we have one check raise size. Really, we don't really have. We have two check raise sizes, I guess. Do we
you
have?
know
Yeah,
it's
we
a
have two
one
check raise sizes. We have a large and a small.
yeah,
So
the
it
big ones are
uses.
normally used on Broadway cards, like Queen 10, King Jack. These are the ones where we want to use a bigger sizing, at
So
least
he
as far
uses.
as I
So we
know.
use 13% here. So
Mhm.
13% is our most common. 13% is our across everything what we should be check raising in this position, right?
That's not a lot.
So
That is true.
let's sort by check raising and see if we can see anything. So if we sort by check raising, so we check raise the most on, and it's not, we still don't check raise a lot. We check raise a lot on like these when he bets small on these low textures that miss him, right? So like 2, 4, 10, 3, 4, jack. So so the first thing we can, well, what heuristics can we take from this? Well, the first thing is that,
High card.
and what else? What else is
Yeah, and
interesting
paired.
here? And what
High
else?
card, paired. Yeah, I mean the low cards, right?
Yeah,
That
low
don't
card.
connect with his range. I
And
mean,
I see a lot
button.
of rainbow.
Yeah, I mean
I
that
see a
is
lot of rainbow textures here.
okay.
So
Yeah,
so low, low, high, right? Like you said, 2, 5, jack. So so it looks like, so let's do some additional screening.
and
Let's,
interesting enough, if you look at you meant like flush, but low 10 with a flush draw is actually check raised quite a bit. It
yeah, I
looks like
mean, well,
the
I mean,
10.
these are aggregate reports. So
Yeah,
let's do this. Let's look at the texture, right? So let's change it to a rainbow texture.
sure.
So now let's look. So it doesn't really seem to make a difference. We don't really give a fuck if it's a rainbow texture if we're going to check raise. We check raise a little bit more, but we don't really give a fuck.
Hmm.
So let's go back here. Let's see what other things we can think about.
I
If it's
mean, paired.
disconnected, do we check raise more, right? So here's our baseline. Our
Uh,
baseline is here. 9126. So we don't really give a fuck if it's disconnected. What about if it's paired?
I would say paired we raise more,
Uh,
but we
so we
don't.
do. We use actually we use more large check raise sizing when it's paired,
Hmm.
which is interesting. So if we add these two together, what, 9126, that's about, we'll call it 13%. Here we get to
11-7.
8
Yeah.
plus 5 is 13%. So we're check raising more on paired boards. Now, let's see if we can look at some other heuristics of what makes a check raise board on flop in this specific configuration, which is UTG versus button. So we can just scroll through these, right?
I
Well, the
mean,
first thing is that it's not crazy. It's never like 50%, right? It's like 20% is the highest we get.
mhm.
The baseline is 13, but the highest we go is 12, right?
Yeah.
So
It
when it
looks
has like
like
these twos and threes, and he
Jack
doesn't have a lot of
10.
sets, it seems to do that maybe.
Uh,
But
It looks like when you would filter like highest card Jack 10-9 and then middle card 5-4, it would be like we check raise this a lot. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that is
So
what's
let's look at
happening
five.
here.
Let's look at where the middle card
Middle card should
is
be
lower than a
six
six,
or
and
six
the
or five, yeah.
lowest card is also lower than a 6.
Yeah. And the high
Let's see
card
how
should
that changes our
be
aggression. So that does. It does seem to. That means we're check raising more, right? We're going from 13% to 5 plus to 15%. So when we have these, we have 2 low cards, and then let's go 2 low cards and then a big card like this.
Yeah. The problem here is that we have all pocket jacks, pocket tens, pocket queens, pocket kings, pocket aces. And now these hands are not really great, right? But if we have jack as the highest card or a 10, I guess that is why it lost a 10, right? Then we have pocket jacks, and now we can check raise a lot more.
Yeah, it's true. So we check raise a ton more on this, on the
Yeah,
Jack
I
10
mean,
9 board
even
with 2
10 high
low
should be
cards
better.
next to it. We check raise a lot more.
Yeah, I guess 10 high is even better. But that is, it's so hard to find. But this is something. Also, look at this board. At these boards, do you see any connectivity that button could have? Like, I mean, on the 3-5 jack, he could have 6-7.
I think he's lacking a lot of sets, and so that's what's driving it.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't really connect with it well, and that's also driving it. Right? He doesn't really connect with it. He doesn't have sets. Hey, Skate, I just noticed you're here. You still there,
Hello.
Skate? What's up,
Hi.
man?
What's going on? Here, distracted by computer science stuff.
All right.
But
Keep it
for the
going, dude.
past,
Keep it going.
all right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna focus on poker. But
No.
it's ironic. It's this computer science stuff is more understandable than this poker stuff for me.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, the good thing is about computer science stuff, not a fucking AI or solver tried to solve it. There were actually people behind it. And here with poker, I mean,
Yeah.
humans never solved it, right? So we are trying to learn what a machine teaches
Right.
us, which doesn't make any sense because the machine is thinking very different. It's like 1-1-0-0-1-0.
It's like I could figure out where to start, like learning, like more ideally with computer science, but with poker, like you don't know. You could start many places, but you don't know where you're gonna end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
And just change. I mean, that's also a very crazy part. I feel like I love that about poker, but I also hate it. It's like,
Yeah.
you look for exploitive line, and you just change one combo of your opponent, and everything changes, and you're like, what? I
It's
mean,
true.
it's like so stupid for a human mind to understand. Like, okay, now he has one bluff more. How much could that change things, right? And now you're bluffing everything, and you're like, what?
Yeah, there's just too many variables, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so fine printed. Maybe you should go back to really Stone Age work, right? AI should work like this, like more stone hammering. It's not perfect, but it's good enough, you know?
It's gonna be a trend, and it's gonna, like it's die down. Then people are gonna realize, okay, maybe we were expecting too much of this intelligence, and we gotta start stuff ourselves a little bit more.
Oh my God, we have to use our brains ourselves again?
Yeah, everybody's on their freaking phone, like stuck to their phone.
Oh no,
It's
man.
crazy, but
So one interesting thing here is that these 4-3-2 high card,
Yeah.
we are check raising a lot. We're check raising 16%.
Yeah.
So one thing to take away is like when you have a 4-3-2 high card, you get a lot of check raises in this configuration specifically. This all
Is
could
he
be blown out the
calling?
window if you change configuration, but in this configuration, which matches what was in the solve that I made.
Does he have pocket fours, pocket threes, pocket deuces in his range on
And
the
I don't,
button?
no, not in this configuration. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, then I guess that is the main driver here, right? Is it? I mean, that would be my expectation. I'm not.
So if he has, so library, cash, raise, button. He doesn't, oh, button. No, he doesn't have 4 3s and 2s, and that's why, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
So let's
Well,
go back
at least I
here.
hope so. Put it that
So
way.
he's not supposed to have 4 3s and 2s in theory.
Also, we
Oh.
don't have these. That's also important to mention, right? Under the gun shouldn't have. We're not opening pocket deuces.
Of course, but we do have kings, queens, and jacks and tens, and
And
he
we have
doesn't.
aces. And we
He-
have aces.
He doesn't have kings and queens, right?
He can have
He doesn't have
queens.
kings, queens, and jacks.
He can have queens. And I think he can have jacks. Look at the calling range. I'm pretty sure he can.
Yeah, I guess he can. He doesn't have aces.
Oh, actually, in the solve, he likes to call queens a lot.
He
Which is like,
does. He does. What part of Germany do you live in, Bozebub?
What again?
What part of Germany do you live in? Like what region?
Do you know Cologne?
A little bit.
Yeah. I'm living near
You-
Cologne.
Near
That
Cologne.
is it's a good Rhine.
Oh yeah.
We drink a lot of Kölsch.
Kirsch? Yeah, I've had Kirsch before. Kirsch is good.
Kölsch beer.
So where have I been? I've never, oh, it's right in the middle. Yeah, I kind of know where that is. I've only been in the southern part more. I've been to
Yeah.
Frankfurt before for work.
Oh, okay. Not Munich.
Oh
Bayern.
no, I went to Munich too. Yeah, I went to Munich once. And I've been to Berlin.
Berlin? Yeah.
Cool. You live in a cool part of town. Do you have a drought just like everything else? Is it a drought there?
A what?
Do you know the word drought?
No.
Drought means dry. Is it dry right now?
Oh yeah, it's very dry here. Actually, we had rain yesterday and today. Actually, we're very happy about that one. But it's not like we don't had any water. But
How do you say it?
but our the Rhine, that is the biggest
The Rhine
river
River?
here.
It's really low, right?
Yeah, it's super low. It's the lowest it ever was since it was measured.
Yeah, that's crazy. How
It's
do you say
like
the word I just put in chat?
Dürre, yeah, something like
J-
this. But
Dürre.
Dürre, I mean, it's yeah, we have a lot of that one here because yeah, our what is the word for Bauer? Our farmers, yeah, they're crying. They don't have
I'm crying
enough
right now. Yeah.
water. I mean, at least we have some water. They can use it, but it's not that easy. I mean, you cannot just shoot water everywhere.
No, you can't. It's true. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call it.
I gotta, do you want to do one round of hands and then call it?
Oh, you're back. Yeah, sure.
Back. I'm back.
I'm gonna.
I have
are
a whole
you-
new attitude.
How's Scotty? How are you?
I have a whole new attitude towards poker.
Hmm.
Wow, that must
All
be a fascinating drive you're on.
All right, here we go. Yeah, Larry,
I've
Larry,
stopped
Larry left,
sharing.
Larry left before I said what I was doing today. All right, here we go. We will take. Okay, we have got. Allow always. Just. Okay, here we go. So this will be, so we just did the king queen. All right. So Larry, you have got ace three suited, small blind in the big blind, small blind raise.
Take the dumbest exploit in poker.
I like it. I like the dumbest exploit here. I didn't take it this time, but I like it. Now, and this guy's got a VPIP of 2929, so I think it's a very good guy to do it to. Yep. We didn't do it this time.
All right.
Right. And he checks.
This is an interesting spot. So it's interesting that he checks. We're gonna see a lot of bets often, I think. We don't have kings and queens, and he does. Um, First question to ask is a check raise a nightmare? Kinda. We've got we've got a backdoor to the nuts and a gutter. I think I prefer check,
Okay.
but it's fine to start a bet bluff here.
And the hands certainly can go bet, bet, bet if needed, like that. So
Yeah, we can.
start
So
with
this
bet,
is fine to bet here. So we got
right?
called.
Called. And I did a big bet.
Yeah. So he's filtered.
Okay.
So I think the meta is that if we improve here, we continue our bluff.
Yeah.
And I think we want, my gut says that we maybe go polar here. Like, I think this might be overbet territory.
Yep. And I think if we overbet, I don't know if I want to shoot for the river because of because the king paired.
Yeah. And
I'd like to
also
do it
he'll
if
be
I had
super
the king. All right,
filtered.
let's do it. So yep. So I overbet.
Yeah, I think this
He
is
called.
overbet territory.
Yep.
One
And
time.
now, one time, we don't get it.
Okay, so he checks. I think we give up against humans here. I think he's very, very uh he's very filtered after an overbet.
And if we go for it, what size do we go for?
Uh, We uh we power jam.
I think we have to. I think we have to with the king pairing.
Yeah, our only size would be a power jam.
And
Yeah.
I did. And I see the reason not to do it, but I did do it. And we got called by,
Uh-oh.
and that's the problem. And that's the problem with a bad king. When the king pairs, the bad king doesn't fold.
Yeah. I think we just have to understand that humans overfold to your overbet on turn.
Right.
And so I think we give up more than solver does here.
Yep. I like it. I like to give up better, obviously, for the
All right,
result.
I'm gonna step away, but I'll be back, guys.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Bub. Ace eight suited. Did I lose Bub? I
He's
lost Bub.
probably on mute.
Skate ace eight suited.
All right. All right. Yeah, let's open
It.
every
It
ace
calls.
suited.
Yep. He checks.
All right, they check. We are going to, yeah, we're going to bet. We have at least a backdoor now. If this was 9-10 jack, I would consider probably, or if this was like, I don't know, maybe like 7-8-9 or like 9-10 jack, something like that, I might consider checking. Okay, because of a lot of two pairs present. Okay, so here we're gonna bet
I like it.
about 1/3.
1/3. Good. We bet 1/3. We get called. That's okay. Let's see if we get any get any of our backdoor equity, because that's what we're here for. Technically, we just picked up backdoor equity, but it's pretty ugly.
Yeah, not a great card. I was gonna say like a 10 or like another queen
Yeah.
wouldn't be too
Yeah.
nice.
Right. Checks.
We didn't pick much up, so we're gonna check back.
Yep.
I think.
We're still beating 7-10. We check back. 5 comes, and he checks.
Well, no reason to bet. Like, the bet check bet line is the most bluffed in poker, so let's check back.
Yeah. There is a reason to bet because we've left in with this line. He still has pocket sixes that may fold. I mean, there is a reason to bet, but we do have some showdown. We beat 7-10. 7-10 called us. And we
Yeah, I
7-10.
mean, so,
But we have a straight showdown, and so let's just take it and lose to 7-7. Yep. So we had a chance to get 7-7 to fold here. Did anybody want to go for the bluff on the river, or
Yes.
even bluffing the turn?
No. Well, on the turn, it's actually fine because we got some equity. We don't get good equity, but we got some. So we could bet here and fold out pocket pairs. If we bet turn, we check river. And
Yeah.
if we check turn, we can bet river.
Yeah.
So I think it's both is fine. I think checking back the river is so now we wanna beat like what? Ace 7.
Mhm.
Ace 6.
Yeah. And if we bet the turn in this exact situation, I think he folds the sevens. So there's that. All right.
And he might fold a 9. I don't know if he folds a 9, but he
Yeah.
could.
Fine. Yep.
all
All
right.
right. Bob, you got ace queen.
Okay, we raise up.
Yeah, we raise. We get three
We
bet.
get
Three
oh
bet.
yeah. We hate that. So I think the only two options we have here is 4-bet or fold.
I agree. I think call is bad, and the solver agrees with us. Low jack raise. Low jack raise. Hijack three bets. Comes back on the low jack, and we are three better fold. No calls in the offsuit. No offsuit calls at all. All right. This one we folded two. Good for him.
Nice raise.
He found it. This is a great three bet. Less against people who don't know that this is a four better fold. But this is a great.
I think his hand is actually not a great 3-bet. I think he needs at least 5-6, right? 4-5 is not good.
Let's see. Let's see.
I learned this the hard way because somehow actually it is.
Solver likes it.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Ace.
The places where it goes total hell
three,
is 4-3. 4-3 is never there, and it often concentrates around the 6-5 as the most one. The 6-5 being the best one. So if you wanted to simplify and have only one suited connector here, and people didn't know which one it was going to be, 6-5 would be your one. In all these. Okay. There we go. All right. And we'll end with actually, why don't we take another one? Go post flop. Take one more and let's go post flop here.
All right.
King Queen. On the button.
Okay, we can 3-bet, we can call.
Yep.
Use your
Never.
poison.
Yes. But never fold. Never fold.
No, I'm not folding.
Yep. I called this one. Goes multi-way.
Okay, we have a direct gut shot. We don't have a spade. When we bet here, we will get all the pocket pairs to fold, like six, at least pocket fives, 4s, 3s, 2s.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, that's not enough. I would just check here and see what happens on the turn.
Okay. We get a lot of ace X to fold, and that's nice.
What ace X?
Ace 5, ace 4, not ace 9, not ace 8, not
Yeah.
ace jack.
It's like the pocket pairs, right? I don't
Yeah,
think we
yeah.
get that many to fold.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So I went for it and just got a pair of folds, and let's see what they folded. How do we sneak in here?
Pocket threes. Oh, king 9 folded.
King
Yeah,
9.
that is
King
nice.
9. That is a big fold.
Yeah. Especially
That-
after he closes the action and you're
Yeah.
supposed to step here quite a lot. I don't know.
Yes.
I mean,
So,
I don't mind his fold because his hand has not a lot of future.
mhm.
Jack Queen. You can hit Jack Queen, but
Yep.
yeah, that's it.
I like that he folded. That's nice. I'm surprised that he doesn't call for one. If this were you, you would call for one, right?
Um,
I mean, you're not
No.
opening king nine very often in the cutoff, but you're opening king nine suited. So
yes, and what I call here, I guess after the first guy folds, yes, I'm going heads up and
you call once. If the first guy, if pocket threes calls, you fold. If pocket threes fold, you call. That seems right. All right.
okay, but to be fair, the board is still scary. Maybe I just fold.
Okay. There you go. All right. And the last one goes to Mike. If Mike is still here, we still got a Mike. Let's find out.
Mike has left the building.
Mike
I
has
think
left.
he had to go to a meeting.
Oh, okay. Mike has left the building. All right. And the last one goes back to Larry and then we'll be done. All right, Larry. Here you go. Oh, that was the last one. All right.